For the past 8 weeks, our group has been working on a project about learning cultures. In the beginning, we chose to keep the topic very broad as we conducted ethnographic research. This broad scope allowed us to identify areas that we could focus in on as our research developed and inform the creation of specific questions that we could pose to the stakeholders. The purpose of this study was to develop a new understanding of learning cultures in an effort to create new learning innovations. Our strategy consisted of utilizing field observations of stakeholders in a variety of learning environments, interviews, and surveys to take an anthropological look at this culture on adult learners in higher education. As the research progressed, our observations led us to focus in on adult learners, and 5 themes or data buckets started to develop based on the interview and survey questions. These 5 buckets are foundational, such as what object the stakeholder finds most important in their environment; learning styles, which hones in on how the stakeholder feels they learn best; preferences, which give insight into the stakeholder's ideal learning environment; concerns, on what the stakeholder wishes they could change about their current learning environment; and failures, or failed learning experiences. Additionally, 4 distinct stakeholders emerged from the research represented by 4 personas. The first stakeholder identified was the full-time, on-the-ground student as represented by August Reyes Northcutt.
I wanted a more open campus where I felt comfortable and safe to be myself, a familiar environment surrounded by creative people and smaller class sizes, and experienced faculty.
The second stakeholder identified was the full-time E-student who also works full-time as represented by Denise Bradwell.
We don't even know about vital parts of projects because it is not in the same location, and we don't always look in 14 different places because it should all be in one. So I would change it so it's a little bit more streamlined, not in 4 different places.
Our third identified stakeholder is the part-time E-student who also works full-time as represented by Thomas McConnell.
I actually didn't break into the industry until I was 32. Failure is a great teacher if you're willing to listen to it. I tried multiple times to break into the industry, but were it not for my wife's constant support and encouragement, I would have given up.
Finally, our fourth identified stakeholder is the on-the-ground graduate student who started straight after undergrad and is represented by Nikisha Phillips.
In person. For example, I do not do well with online classes. I need the examples in person to understand.
As we started to analyze the data, several insights emerged. For the first data bucket, we used text analysis to determine what objects were most important to the stakeholders. Although the computer was listed as primary object based on a necessity, we found that many stakeholders stated that the ability to print out reading materials and take notes was key to actually learning the information being taught. Next, we created a Venn diagram to analyze the common data points in learning styles, preferences, and concerns. What this revealed was that ideals and expectations were consistent for the various stakeholders, but many opportunities exist when we overlap those 2 points with stakeholder concerns. Finally, we analyzed the elements stakeholders referred to as contributing factors to their learning failures. We found that group learning and study groups were dominant factors leading to students experiencing learning environment failures. Additionally, multitasking, distractions, which include noise, other people, and social media, cramming, and not having a plan amongst others were also issues leading to perceived failure. Our analysis of learning cultures, specifically adult learning, has revealed several opportunities for exploration which would allow development of new hybrid learning experiences that would combine old and new technologies in an innovative way to provide better learning experiences for adult learners. In summary, our 3 opportunities are: first, infuse traditional learning environments or structures across all platforms while dispersing consumable digital information that easily translates into tangible output. Second, create a learning environment that is both flexible yet has a basic level of hands-on feedback that on-ground students enjoy. Third, create tailored group learning environments that are beneficial to both the individual and the group as a whole. As we further develop these opportunities into design solutions, it is our belief that they will benefit not only the learners, but also the educators and learning institutions. The research team for this project included David Dunstan, Heather Keenan, Will O'Donnell, Jania Wood, and Renee Zimney. For further details and a more in-depth analysis of this research into learning cultures, please see the full RAS report. Thank you.